It don't matter if it's like a sock and it's Johnny Was, I'm gonna pick it up because somebody's looking for a Johnny Was sock. You get what I'm saying? They're not reading that shit, okay? So don't even waste your time. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps, and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I actually want to talk about my listing process. Now, my listing process has definitely changed over the years, and I finally found something that works. It's really just me showing you guys what I do to help me during the listing process. And it's a process, so let's just jump right in. So the first thing is actually to know already, before you even buy that item, how you plan on marketing it. Now, when I talk about marketing, it's literally just the sellability of that item. So while you're out there sourcing, when you're at the thrift store, or when you're at the bins, wherever, you want to look at an item and not just be like, man, this is cute, somebody's gonna love this. Babe, we don't do that. We need to pick up items that we know are gonna sell. So when you pick up something and you're just like, okay, this is cute. Okay, so what's cute about it? Like what is going for this item? I know back in the day, I used to be like, okay, well, you know, they say plus sizes in, this is a size 2X. Okay, and what else? Well, it has a scoop neck, rib material. That doesn't look like it's gonna sell anything. Oh, it's Johnny Was. Oh, okay, well, now that you say that, that's sellable. The brand sold that. But now we say that this is a style-based pickup. We look at this plain shirt that's ribbed with a scoop neck. It's a size 2X. There's nothing else going for it. Let's say there, you know, it's no brand. Now what? Okay. Now let's add on that it is a floral detail to it. There's embroidery, there's lace, and it's a baby doll style. So now you're working with something. Now this is the most important part. Let's say this top is black. Even better, because now you know that you can use specific keywords. But let's say this top is pink, maybe like a pastel pink. So now you know another keyword. The first one that was black, you can use witchy, you can use whimsy goth, you can use boho. Now this pink one that's pastel, it's lace. You can use coquette. You can use baby doll. You can use dainty. Nowadays, you have to have 2 to 3 factors in order to take an item home. And this leads me to the Resellers Edge University. So this mentorship is actually for all resellers, be that of beginners, intermediate, or advanced. You literally have a place in this group because they are catered to everybody. In this group, you'll actually learn vital information like how to manage your business, how to market your items, how to source responsibly. And even if you are into wholesale, you'll also be able to learn a lot about that. Now, recently, they have been talking about live selling. So if you are a person that just don't really know how to get started into that, they are working on helping people get better at it as well. That is definitely a bonus for the people that are interested in the live selling aspect, because you know, you just never know where the world is going to go, and live selling might be really the it girl. So they will be helping with that. And then it is community based, which is absolutely amazing. So of course you're going to learn from the mentors. They are very knowledgeable already, but now you are able to learn from your peers, and everybody has like a different advantage. Somebody has more knowledge about this, other people have more knowledge about this, and they are all so willing to help you in your business. And I feel like it works on the Facebook group because they also have a Facebook group, but then it also works when you are in like the live listing calls and stuff. That also is a huge bonus. I'll talk about that in a little bit. On their website, they actually have modules and spreadsheets that'll help you stay aligned in your business. The modules are full of knowledge that you actually want to know, okay? For me, since I had joined them, I want to say a couple of months into the year, I have been taking a little here, a little there. What's so great about the modules is that they are very bite-sized. So you don't have to worry about having to sit there and be like, oh, I'm watching hours and hours of content, like I can't soak anything. You don't even have to stress. You literally get in, watch a video, you soak it up, literally bite-sized, like I said it. Like you literally just take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and then you eventually get full versus having to finish a super big plate. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I absolutely love about it. It's very just like short and quick and get you right in and right out. Now, of course, they have the modules, they have the spreadsheets that also, like I said, help you stay aligned, but then they also have 3 weekly live calls and then bi-weekly Bethany actually helps people in a live listing call. And on the live listing call, let's say you need additional help with an item that you sourced and you haven't listed it yet because you don't really know how to market it, or you have an item that's been sitting for a while and you don't know why it's sitting because it fits the bill for all the keywords. You think your pricing is right, you think your photos are good, you just need that extra oomph of like, okay, how do I get this to sell? That call is going to help you. And all 4 of the calls are beneficial. They also have a newbies orientation, which we all know that is incredibly helpful as well, because when you are new to anything, you just don't want to have to jump in. It would be nice for somebody to guide you through and all the things, and they are definitely able to help you with that. Then they have a BOLO list that they actually update frequently. Now this BOLO list is probably the best, mainly because they actually have a photo right beside the item. I had already knew that this was a amazing group, mainly because I've already learned so much from Kaylee over the years. So getting into this group and of course being able to give back to you guys with a 50% off code, I do think that it is going to help you as well in your business, and I feel like it's probably the best group out there. Mind you, ain't never been in no other group, but I do feel like this one is the best one that you could ever be in if you really want to scale your business. And then lastly, they have a Facebook group. Now, of course, in this day and age, we all love social media, but the Facebook group is definitely at your fingertips because you just get to open up your phone and then you get to go on a group and then you get to learn a whole bunch of stuff. Now, what I love about the group is, of course, it is there to help you if you are like, you know, really quick on like, man, how do I you know, market this? But what I do want to add to this, because I don't want it to get like misconstrued that you go buy something and then you just plaster it on the Facebook group and say, help me sell this. It don't work that way. You gotta do you gotta do a little bit of work, buddy. Okay, so you need to know what you're doing while you're out there sourcing, so then when you do take it to the group, all they doing is just giving you a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? So you need to do the 75% and they can help with that extra 25%. Don't be like, look, I'm at 0, you need to give me 100. It's not going to work like that, okay? So yeah, I think the Facebook group is very beneficial, as well as the website. And with this group, you will get both of them, of course, and then you will get it discounted for your very first month if you use my code down below. I will pop it on the screen. All right, so moving on. So of course, you want to get out there and make sure you pick up the right item before you even pay for it, okay? Already know ahead of time what this item plans on being marketed as before you even pay for it. It's been times that I will pick up an item and I'm like, oh, I'll figure it out later. It's not going to work, I can promise you, because when you get to the point where it's time to list this item, you're going to go blank, okay? And you don't want that. So let's just say you pick up a top that is, I don't know, cropped, and it's a wrap top, automatic. I know that I'm going to be able to use ballet cord for this. So it's things like that where you know exactly what is going to pull in that item. And of course, it is brands out there that you can pick up just off of the brand. I'll be honest, Johnny Was is one of those brands for me. It don't matter if it's like a sock and it's Johnny Was, I'm gonna pick it up because somebody's looking for a Johnny Was sock. You get what I'm saying? But it's certain things out there that may be more style based that you can pick up, and you'll have to know that this item needs to be marketed a certain way in order for it to sell. It's brands like J. Jill. I don't typically use, you know, cores and stuff when I list a J. Jill piece, but let's just say that piece kind of aligns with what the girls are looking for on Depop. I will. But then I was also like, this item has a lot of marketability for Gen Z. So guess what I did? I tied in that brand with the mature crowd, and then that brand and that item with the younger crowd. Two different types of people that could be possibly looking for this item. So it's not a thing where it needs to be either or. It can definitely be both at the same time. Two things can be true at once. So you just have to make sure you know that when it's time to list, okay? All right, so I personally feel, yes, you already want to know how to market it before you buy it, but the second most important thing to list quicker, for me especially, is the photographing stage. Now, for most people, you just photograph and then you list, and then you do all the work at your desk. No. for me personally, I do all of the work during the photographing time, because when I photograph, I am not only getting on Google Lens, so that's another tip. Soon as I list my item, I open up Google Lens, especially if it's an item that either it's like Free People and I know that they have a stock photo out there in the internet. I will Google Lens it, and then what I'll do is, by the grace of God, I'll see it pop up, and then it'll also have the style name, and that's even better, because now that's going to also help you narrow down to a specific buyer, because some people do look for just Free People, some people look for the exact style, so you want to make sure you tie both in all at once. So when I Google Lens, I will actually just screenshot it. I take the Google Lens photo. If the style name pulls up, I will screenshot it, and then I will save. I think like press and hold the actual stock photo to save it to my phone, and then that's when I will proceed to take photos of the item, just so I already have that when it's time for me to sit down. And then to add on to the Google Lens, what you also want to do is that if you Google Lens an item, and let's just say the exact style of that item never popped up, but you see a lot of items similar to the one that you Google Lens, you want to go and kind of very, very, very briefly go and look at some of the posts, and also screenshot those, because some of the keywords that they are using you'll also pull in. Now, keywords and aesthetics actually kind of go hand in hand for me. When I say keywords, I'm also thinking of aesthetics in my head. So keywords could be bell sleeve, it can be geometric, but then also sometimes people are gonna use cottage core, people are going to use peasant, people are going to use granola girl. So you want to make sure you're able to just get that. And the reason why I decide to continue, even if it is not the exact item, it'll help me get inspired during the time that I am listing. So I take a screenshot, and let's say that item is very similar to mine, but let's say I don't have the bell sleeve. At that point, I'm like, okay, I have a cap sleeve, so I'm gonna know to just put cap sleeve in it. So it's like the Google Lens part is not only helping you with finding a stock photo, finding the style name, but it's also helping you get inspired on some of the keywords that you plan on using when it's time for you to list. Okay, so another tip is actually having a specific order in which you take your photos. All of my photos are taken the exact same way. Now, they may not upload the same way, but they are all taken the same way, and that is taking a front photo of the item. I like to take a photo of the label with the brand and the size, and then I'll take a photo of the sleeve, and then I make my way to any type of graphic, any logo. If it is like a geometric print, I like to get a zoom in. If it's a textured material, I like to get a zoom in of that. If it is flawed in any way, also zoom in on that. I'll usually just put my finger on it. You need to really just have that all down packed, and this is going to look different for everybody, because some people take their photos on mannequins, some people take their photos on the ground. I take mine on a hanger. I think the hanger method for me is the most easiest, because it doesn't require me getting up, getting down, bending, and doing all of that. When I first started reselling, I did used to take my photos on the ground. My back used to hurt a lot, but I was much younger. And once I'm done taking photos of the item, I will take a photo of the measurements. Now, I implemented this, I want to say maybe like the end of last year, and I got this from Amy and Dan. I think I watched one of their videos where they were showing, you know, that they take photos. They are much more detailed with their measurements than I am, but I think they were doing like a blazer or like one of those sports coats, and it was perfect. And I'm just like, man, how easy is that? Because I used to, you know, photograph all of the items, and then the next day when it was time for me to list the items, I will pick the item up, lay it on my desk, and measure it, and then just put it in the description. So when I saw that they just took a photo of it, I'm like, okay, that will cut back on me actually having to retouch the item, because that was something that I took from 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂𝕊 a year ago, where she said you want to cut down on the amount of times you touch an item. So I'm just like, okay, that actually makes sense. So I implement it. It took a lot. Let me just say, that's why I say I'm so grateful for where I'm at in my business right now, because I took a little from everybody through the years, and it has helped me transform to where I'm at now. So taking a photograph of the measurements was like a twofer. So it was not only helpful for me to not continue to keep touching the item multiple times, but it was also to cut back on people asking me, oh, what's the pit-to-pit measurement, when it's already in the photos. Because at the time I used to get a lot of people asking me questions about measurements, and I used to put it in the description. But then I'm like, you know what, it might be easier to just take a photo of it and just put it in the photos, because clearly people only look at photos. But yeah, putting the items on a dry erase board was just like the best thing that I could have ever done. It's so easy. You just write in the measurements and then you just wipe it off, move on, you know? So that was a really good thing that I tweaked in my business that I feel like has helped me cut down on a lot of time in regards to touching the item and just over processing everything. And then, of course, to add on to the measurements, I actually like to not only, of course, photograph the measurements, but as soon as I put the item up that I'm about to start taking a photo of, I do the measurements first. Instantly, before I even take photos of the item, I will do the measurements first and then hurry up and put them on the dry erase board. So then after I take all of my photos of the item, I can just snap a photo of the measurements, and then when it's time for me to upload them to Poshmark, I know that that measurement photo is the last one for this listing. So it kind of closes it out, and it just kind of, you know, wraps it up for me. All right, so now we're done with the second rendition of how to list faster. Now we're moving on to actually listing. Now when I sit down to list, I actually like to put on a YouTube video regarding reselling, and then I soak in more knowledge. So I'm doing a lot of retaining during both the photographing and the listing process. So while I'm working, I'm also learning more about the business, because, you know, some people are picking up brands and items and stuff that I didn't know about. I have recently learned about 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂, I want to say, from another YouTuber, and I just told her in her video the other day, but I wouldn't have picked up, you know, that particular item had I not watched her video and she talked about how she sold it 3 times. So it's stuff like that that you don't really get all the time, or you don't really soak in, that you should. So that's a tip as well, but that's not really a listing tip. That's just a reseller tip. So like I was trying to say, you want to make sure that your title has great SEO. And SEO means just search engine optimization. And that just means that, let's say you just hop on Google right now and you just put in, I don't know, yellow floral blouse. A lot of yellow floral blouses will pop up. But let's just say you want to look for a yellow cottagecore milkmaid baby doll blouse. You just put in a whole bunch of keywords that maybe 1/4 of the initial people put in their title. So it's narrowing it down more and more and more. So when it comes to your SEO and your title, you want to make sure you are putting in keywords and aesthetics that people are going to search for. Now, when I get to the listing process and the title, my structure is different for different reasons. So my base title structure is as followed. I like to put the brand, I like to put the gender, and then I like to put the category, and then I like to put the size, and then I like to put the color, and then I put all of the keywords and aesthetics and also describing the item all in the title of whatever it can fit. Okay, and it's very important that you find what is going to work for you. I found the way that I title my items that they work best. That's how it is when it comes to me listing the item. I'm literally not even thinking about it. I automatically do that. And then that's when the second part comes in. When I took that screenshot, when I was, you know, doing the photographing stage, that's when I go look at that and I'll see, let's just say cottagecore and boho. Very popular keywords, by the way. But let's just say it has a little bit more going for it. This kind of looks very earth girl, very hippie. I'm gonna put hippie in there. Now, if this is more kind of like outdoorsy, guess what? I'm also gonna put granola girl. So it's just a type of way that you have to make sure you are intentional about tying in everything. Now, sometimes, prime example, I'll pick up a J. Jill item or an item that generally the brand is supposed to sell, I don't have to worry about all of the extra keywords and aesthetics. Now I'm more worried about how I'm gonna describe this item in a sense of a older person looking for it. So this J. Jill tunic top, very broad, right? But let's just say they want a scoop neck. Let's say they want a rounded hem. Let's say they want it to be jersey knit. Let's say they want it to be, I don't know, I can't think of anything else, but that is what's in my mind. So if I'm picking up a piece that is catered to a certain demographic, that title as far as the keywords is going to look a lot of different than me picking up an item that has no brand, that needs a whole bunch of keywords in order to sell it. So the title for the base, very simple. Like I told y'all before, it's very simple. But then we can move on to seasonality. So during the spring and summer, guess what I did? People were looking for a lot of linen during the spring and summer, even cotton, because cotton is very breathable, but linen is just that girl. So during the spring and summer, when I titled my items, I would title it brand, gender, 100% linen, or if it wasn't 100% linen, I would just put linen. So if it had 50% linen, I'm not going to put 50% linen, I'm just going to put linen. But that's going to be the third item in my title structure. And then I'm going to put the category, and then I'm going to put the size, and then I'm going to put the color, and then keywords or aesthetics, you know what I'm saying? And then that is for seasonality. And then of course the fabric content would be interchange for cashmere. I've recognized that wool is just not really a fabric that really holds in the folks, so I actually don't prioritize putting wool in the beginning. If I come across Angora, rabbit hair, if I come across alpaca, those are keywords that can pull some weight, so I'm going to put that one in the front. But if it's something like silk, sometimes silk will help sell a piece, but I feel like with silk there needs to be like 2 to 3 other factors, and silk will be the third factor. So I feel like you just have to be very, 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 very intentional, and you just really want to be just a step ahead, okay? And that's really what's been working for me. So once I get done with the seasonality one, there is an alternate one of the way my title is structured in my listing. So on the alternative one, let's say this item has no brand. I've already Google lensed it, no brand on it, and I definitely make sure that it's not Shein or any ultra fast fashion brand, because I can't find it in my spirit to sell Shein or any ultra fast fashion brands. I just can't do it. So even if I do find them out in the wild and it's a great style, if I Google lens it and it pop up on Shein or Alibaba or whatever those, you stay in here, girl. I don't even want you. But let's just say I can't find it on anywhere. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm actually about to keyword stuff the hell out of that thing. So now it's time for me to put, let's just say, hopefully it's vintage looking, if you will. But I'm gonna start with the era. So let's just say it's a vintage piece. I will put vintage. Now I also learned this from Ashley from Restyle by Ash. I never used to put vintage in the beginning of my listing. I would always put it where I would put my keywords, but as time went on, I realized, wait, she's selling a lot of vintage pieces and vintage is right in the front. So guess what I did? I took something from her and I put vintage 90s women's top, large, black, western, fringe, suede, cottagecore, like, you get what I'm saying? So it's like bam, 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 bam. But that is necessary when you are picking up a style-based piece, okay? Okay, so now we made it to the description part of it. Now, me personally, I just copy my title and I paste it in the description. This is maybe a tiny bit controversial because people are like, oh, why aren't you know, writing an actual description? People don't fucking read. Like, let's be so honest right now. How many times somebody have asked you a question and the answer is actually in the description? Tell me down below. Like, I really want to know, how many times do somebody ask you the exact same question that literally all they had to do was scroll down and look at the description and the answer would have been in there? So why would I waste my time thinking of more things to do when they're not even going to read it? Okay. But for certain circumstances, it is times where that item is so amazing where I didn't have enough characters. So now I need to put a little bit more in that description, and I would just add it to the title. So let's just say this item is just well versed, and it can go for so many different categories. So let's say I use all the heavy hitters in the title. That's also important too. So things that are trending, you want to prioritize the trending keywords more than you want to prioritize like the basic ones. So like I'll say whimsy goth because that one's kind of popular now, but let's say it's whimsy goth and it's cottagecore. You're going to prioritize whimsy goth, and then of course all the other ones that are tied into whimsy goth. But then when you get to description, all of those same keywords and stuff will also be in the description, but at the end you are also going to paste cottagecore and then any other keywords associated to cottagecore in that item, so you can pull in everybody. The great thing about Poshmark is that Poshmark is the search engine. People complain about it, and I'm sure they complain about it because you can type something in and Poshmark will pull whatever somebody puts in the description. It's a gift and a curse. I just titled the item women's top, but in the description they titled it, you know, women's top. It has a bell sleeve, it's cottagecore. I think Taylor Swift wore this, and let's just say you typed in Taylor Swift. Now your item is being popped up. You get what I'm saying? Don't do that, because I hear that Taylor Swift name is a no-go on the resale market. But I'm just saying, so like it's kind of helpful and it's kind of not on Poshmark, but I personally still do it. Even though it may not pull up on eBay or Mercari, I still do it. As far as Depop is really heavy into tags. I just realized that I stopped doing hashtags over there, because their hashtags will pull stuff up like quicker. So let's just say I keep using cottagecore because it's just so easy, but let's just say I search up cottagecore. Since I hashtagged it, I feel like it pulls more weight than me just putting it in the title, you know. But yeah, so very, very, very important to continue to keep the keywords. I think the keywords are more important than actually describing the item. Like the whole little AI description, people is not reading this beautiful top made in 1990, sewn by somebody in China. Like, they're not reading that shit. Okay, so don't even waste your time going to AI and having them build you something out, because anyway, for the description, you want to make sure that you have shortcuts. So I created shortcuts on my computer many months ago, because many months ago, I never used to put like anything about the item in the description. So on most platforms except Poshmark, you can say that this item is pre-owned. Okay, Poshmark doesn't give you an option, which is very weird that they don't have that. But I guess in their mind they're thinking like, okay, well, we have a new tags option, so if you don't choose new tags, clearly it's pre-owned. People don't come to that conclusion, so you have to be a little bit better at it. So as far as the shortcuts, I have a NWT, which is going to be a shortcut for this item is new with tags, please see all photos. Then I have a NWTF, which means this item is new with tags with a flaw. And then at that particular point, I will go in manually and then I would describe the flaw in that same, you know, shortcut. And then I have one that is EXC. Now that one is probably the one that I use like 80% of the time, because that one stands for excellent condition. So this one will come out to be, this item is in excellent condition with no flaws, please see all photos. Now I make it my duty to always put please see all photos, because I still want them to be held accountable and making sure that they actually looked at all the photos. So another one that I have is PRE, which is short for pre-owned. Those typically are the ones that it's a flaw in it. So if I say PRE, my shortcut is automatically gonna say this item is pre-owned with a flaw. And then of course I will go in and manually put a hole by the neckline, and then please see all photos, because now they're like, oh shit, it's a hole by the neckline, let me go look. Let's say I had that as the 7th photo and it's 12 photos. They're gonna keep scrolling and be like, okay, I see that hole by the neckline. So that also helps a ton, instead of me typing everything out, because I at one point never put anything, and then I gravitated to actually typing it out every single time, every single item, all 25 items, I was typing it out. And I'm just like, there's got to be an easier way. So then I made shortcuts, and that's how I help like alleviate that. All right, and then the very last tip that can help you list faster, because it definitely helped me list faster, is to stay on top of the time that it's taking you to do actual research for the item. The goal with the Google lensing and doing the measurements while you're photographing is supposed to help you when you get to your desktop. Having the shortcuts is also supposed to help you cut down on how long it takes you to list. So when it's time for you to do the research, I personally enjoy doing the research only because I feel like you have to think like a buyer. So I'm going to use myself as an example. I recently, maybe recently, like last month, bought a pair of 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 jeans that were a loose, high-rise pair of jeans. Loved them, fell in love with them. I was like, oh, gotta get more of these. Went on Depop. Guess what I did? Went on Poshmark, went on Mercari. I put Abercrombie loose high-rise jeans, and then I put my size. It was very specific. I don't want any skinny jeans. I don't want any flare jeans. I want the loose high-rise jeans. So I take that into consideration when I sit down. Now, you don't have to take the time out to do any research. You can literally just get your item, bill out your title, and call it a day. I personally don't want to do that because there are people out there that are specifically looking for an item. And I kind of get annoyed with free people. They'll have like a stupid ass name of an item, say like the "Who Shot Your Boyfriend" shorts. And it's like, what is that? But somebody is looking for "Who Shot Your Boyfriend" shorts. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, I have to put that in my title, because if somebody's looking for "Who Shot Your Boyfriend" shorts, that's actually not an item. I'm just saying, like, that's just how ridiculous some of them sound. But if somebody's looking for that, it needs to be in my title. And then I'm also going to put high-rise, nylon, outdoor, gorp core in that title structure, because not only if somebody is looking for free people, gorp core, they want to, you know, look that style, they're gonna look for those two. If somebody want to look for free people nylon shorts, they're gonna find my listing. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm spread across. Okay, so I always make sure I get the style name if I can. So back to what I was trying to say. So when it comes to researching, you don't want to take more than 2 minutes. If you find yourself, after you've already Google Lensed it over here at the photographing, you can find it, and you get to your desktop and you try to do one last little Google Lens of the item from the computer desk, you don't find it, you look at the care tag that you took when you were in the photographing stage, and you see style, and then you see MC123, whatever, you type that in with free people and nothing comes up, it's time to move it along. Okay, you don't want to be like, man, like, how can I find this? Don't go to Instagram and say, hey, do you guys know? Don't do that. Just, it's time to wipe your hands clean and just go ahead and describe that item, and then put those keywords and aesthetics at the end, and then get rid of it. Don't take more than 2 minutes, because I used to take up to about 10 minutes per item trying to find the style name and the stock photo. And that's why it used to take me so long to do 10 listings a day. Like, 10 listings a day, like, I wish I can go back to, well, no, I don't want to go back to, but 10 listings a day is nothing. That can be done in an hour, 45 minutes, and cross-listed. That's another thing too, like, I include cross-listing in my listing process. So when I say I list my 25 items a day, yes, I list my 25 items a day, but I also cross-list all of those items as well. So those items are showing up across 3 to 4 platforms every single day, Monday through Thursday. I'm not just listing, and then if I feel like cross-listing in 3 days, then I'll no. Me cross-listing is a part of me listing that item. So yeah, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Sorry that this video most likely ran long. I do get a little chatty. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Let me know down below something that you have done in your business to help you list quicker, because I really want to know, because it might be something I need to sprinkle into my business. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.